That implies that there is currently around $800 billion in unrealized losses against that government paper, and the government's just ignoring it. So I have some real issues with that. Derek said last week that, you know, a lot of the central banks are buying up gold, but they also lend gold out. Do we have any idea how much gold they're actually holding? I don't want to sound conspiratorial. I'm just asking the question. Can we independently verify that they actually have what they say that they have? Or have they pre-sold or leased out the gold, and all they've got is gold receipts instead of the actual gold? I don't trust them.
Can we change gears here? Because I think it's going to affect Australia. Let's say there was a global downturn. I'm not speaking doom and gloom here. I believe that there's opportunities in all of this, guys. So I'm not just going to go on the negativity and go, oh, if this happens. But it's interesting how this has been set up, and you wonder how much foresight the government has had on this situation, given that they've increasing a lot of the handouts that they're doing in this new budget for the new financial year. And this is a little interesting article. I came across this publication that I've never heard of before called the Daily Hodl. US regulators are flagging that JPMorgan Chase, now these are big banks.
Oh, they are.
Bank of America, Citibank and Goldman Sachs over the bank's contingency plans for trillions of dollars in derivatives. So what happens is here that the Federal Reserve and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, they need what they call living wills, so to speak, where what they do in part detail how banks could safely unwind their derivative portfolios without requiring government assistance are inadequate. They're saying it's the Reuters that are reporting it doesn't work. Now, cast your mind back to when these banks were collapsing about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
When they were too exposed to the bond market. And these were banks that were very much into the crypto space in the United States. And it caused a few waves across the banking sector of the US for doing this. But these players are bigger. And what they're saying is Citigroup specifically, the regulators say shortcomings in the bank's data management and control systems are corrupting the bank's calculations on how much liquidity and capital it would need to close derivatives positions in the event of bankruptcy. Now, that big issue is liquidity for banks. Banks have to be able to get access to the resources because, of course, when you go to the bank, it's not sitting there.
No.
They've invested that money elsewhere. And,
tenfold, yes.
Yeah, and extended it and put it in things like markets to get them a return. What is dangerous here is, let's say there is a crash, there is a liquidity, and these banks don't have those calculations correct where they can pull on those drawings. It could potentially have a lot of effect across the banking sectors in the US. And of course, the banking system across globally is very intertwined when it comes to insurance. Just give you the example of the GameStop story where GameStop, these guys on Reddit thought, you know, we heard of a hedge fund shorting this position on there. Let's bump this price of this stock right up. They did so. And it caused this hedge fund to go into bankruptcy. It affected banks even in Europe. So it's all intertwined, and a lot of people don't realize this. So why am I bringing this up to space? If the global economy, there's shakings there, and Australians are having trouble putting bread on the table and extending their mortgages and doing all this sort of stuff, it's going to be really interesting where these banks are positioned as far as globally is concerned. And I think don't get into the doom and gloom and think it worse side. There are opportunities in this, guys. There's always a silver lining with this, but it's something to keep in mind as this all plays out on the global stage.
Shaq, your thoughts on that?
I like to encourage women to trust somebody who's irresponsible, namely me. But as a rule of life, don't trust people that are irresponsible. Okay? The banks are being irresponsible, but they're actually doing exactly what they should be doing. Because if you're one of the biggest banks in the world, you know that you're never going down. You know that you're too big to fail. And so what you should be doing is taking the biggest risks that you can possibly take. Because if it works out for you, hey, you're a hero. If it doesn't work out for you, not your fault. And the government will bail you out. So at the moment, we have a really significant problem in the United States. What we have seen recently is that the major US banks were forced to buy government paper during COVID. And obviously that government paper is devalued because of the increase in interest rates. And yet the Fed and the Treasury Department has agreed to provide banks with liquidity against the full face value instead of providing them with liquidity mark to market. That implies that there is currently around $800 billion in unrealized losses against that government paper, and the government's just ignoring it. So I have some real issues with that. Derek said last week that, a lot of the central banks are buying up gold, but they also lend gold out. Do we have any idea how much gold they're actually holding? I don't want to sound conspiratorial. I'm just asking the question. Can we independently verify that they actually have what they say that they have? Or have they pre-sold or leased out the gold and all they've got is gold receipts instead of the actual gold? I don't trust them. I don't trust government. I don't trust these big banks. And yeah, I think you need to diversify as much as you can and put as little faith in them as you possibly can, because they're not being honest with us. They never have. They're never going to.
Gentlemen, we've got 3 minutes left in the show, and I want to throw the gentleman with the laptop and therefore the information. Do you have a subject you want to cover today that we probably haven't gone into?
I think we've covered most of it. I mean, there is a claim there that the Federal Reserve's been hacked into 33 terabytes.
Well, we're used to that, though. That's an everyday occurrence. No big deal.
That's happening to all government organisations, speaking of central banks.
Yep.
I think we've covered most of that on a local level, how it affects mum and dads through to the bigger players in play here. With the just going political for a moment.
Yep.
Remember that politics, economy, and interest rates are the three things that affect the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a lot of things happening globally. We're in for a big ride because there's also volatility. You pointed out to me a few weeks ago how many nations, like 77 nations, are going up for elections this year
it's huge,
globally,
yeah.
Which means their GDP is going to be changing as far as the years ahead are concerned.
Correct.
Markets don't like that. Investors don't necessarily like that. So it's a wild ride just by the nature of the timing of all these things.
Well, look, something I found out just earlier today, apparently that in an election year for the US, that just, the patterns of the past, that the GDP, basically the markets go up 11%.
Mm-hmm.
GDP. The markets go up 11% historically. So if you think about that and the fact that there are, 70 odd elections taking place this year and all that effect, I mean, this is a huge crossover between politics and, of course, finance.
We've seen the markets go up this
Joe
year.
If Joe Biden actually loses, which he should, the market should go up dramatically, because if that moron is gone, then I think we're looking good. I'd like to just say to everybody, for all of the things that I say, and I think that you guys say as well about government and about the big business, etc., I'd like to just say, please don't lose hope. We have opportunities out there to focus on ourselves, and that's what we should be doing. All I will say is, don't hate the government, just don't trust them.
Yeah.
Look after yourself, get some independence, and there are some real ways to do that. You don't have to rely on them for everything. So, just think about things, think about your future, and, go and do Derek's course, go and speak to Warren Black, go and, get the information that you need to create a structure that gives you that stability and that insurance, essentially, of knowing that if government lets you down, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, again, let's not get pessimistic about this. This is an opportunity. And I see a comment come through with Emma, and I do apologize once again. I'm a long way from the screen and probably should have glasses on, but
let me read it. Yes, I've been working hard since 16 years old. Sounds like me. I have owned my own business, have nice cars and apartments, but I've been working till I've burnt out, and people often judge me. Well, I don't judge you, Emma. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Our business was destroyed by government and Metronet going through, and we lost 50% of all of our customers over 2 years. We are building back up lots because of staff due to them having higher pay offered working up north. We supported all of our staff through COVID, even though we were getting treated horribly by the government. We are now in the Supreme Court. And Emma, I can tell you that's exactly the issue. People like yourself, people like me, we've had to do it the hard way, and we shouldn't have had to. And that's why I have so much resentment towards government. I know last week, a couple of weeks ago, everyone heard me go off on the police and my thoughts and feelings on them. I'm not going to tell you what my experience has been with the police, other than to say that obviously it hasn't been pleasant. And that's why I have such a dim view of them. So,
Yep.
I'd like to ask governments why they treat us so badly. Have governments had a bad experience with the people? Just get out of our way, support us a little bit, stop treating us like this.
Yeah, and my message to Emma is, look, a lot of us are getting together and we're sticking together and building up businesses again. So we would love to help in any way we can. No ifs or buts about it. So I'd love to see.
Tell us what your business is, Emma.
Yeah,
I'd love to know what it is. Give it a free plug while you're here.
Let me pop it up on the screen. We're gonna run to the end of the hour now. So forget the music. We're gonna go all the way. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, hang on.
Can we sing a song about Emma? Maybe next week. We've got a week to write a song about Emma.
I love the fact that when people start young and they work so hard, it's amazing. Okay, now
she says we're now representing ourselves in court as we refuse to pay any more to lawyers.
Fantastic. And the name of your business is?
It's down the next one.
Yep, Shaq, you want to read that one out?
It's not on my screen just yet.
No, okay, no problems.
Next one.
Let me get to, it wouldn't be to you just yet. There we go.
There it is.
Wonderful.
Emerson Flotation Day Spa.
Nice.
That sounds really familiar for some reason.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now, we'd love to support and help you out any way we can. Because small business.
Emma, can you do us a favor? Can you please send a message or an email to Edge Radio? I can't promise you that I can help you, but just send us an email. Certainly we'll give you a plug, and we can have a chat about what's going on for you, and if we can help in any way, we'd love to be able to.
Yeah, look, I actually know the area that Emma's talking about there in Kelmscott. Obviously, I've had all of the Metronet and all carry on going on there, and that's been so detrimental to the businesses through there. And the fact is, the government's absolutely shown no.
What's Metronet, Aaron? I'm not familiar with it. I'm nowhere near Kelmscott when I'm in WA. So you have to fill me in.
All the new train works that have gone through it, basically picking up the Armidale line from, picking up from its level in 1920 to what it is now, because it's just been a joke for such a long time. So look, it's important works, but you can do important works and still actually have consideration and support of the local business community and citizens.
Why, if I want to say correctly, so they're upgrading the rail network. Why or how is that affecting businesses?
Oh, they basically made it so incredibly difficult for a massive band of businesses through there for you actually to get access. So it's if it was a 5-minute trip, it's now a 25-minute trip. It is a nightmare. The traffic management's been a joke. The planning is just, it is, look, it's embarrassing. That's what it is. So no consideration to businesses. So to Emma and your businesses there. So it is the Emerson Flotation Day Spa. If I'm reading that correctly, thank you very much. It sounds like a great place to be.
Immersion Flotation Day Spa, I think it says.
Okay, they put in new rails to split up the some businesses and properties. So there you go. Okay, a lot going into 6 months turning into 2 years, and that has been the big issue. All right, guys, it is the end of the show. We've got about 20 seconds left, so we're going to hit the old play button. Thank you very much for being part of it. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the new people who got on board. It's Edge Radio Australia. It's the greater wealth.